All right, listeners, strap in. Today's deep dive. What's a little different? We're taking a look at Escape from Senti Merries.
Escape from Senti Merries.
Yeah, the subtitle. A Guide for Escaping an African Ghetto. Now, I have to admit, that title alone, I was like, whoa, gotta see what this is about.
Yeah, you don't see that every day. It's not your typical self-improvement book coming from that kind of background.
Exactly. And, right, I love a unique perspective.
Yeah.
And speaking of unique, Frieze Oswatch, the author, his intro, kind of sets the stage.
Oh, how so?
Well, he starts by thanking God, then gives a shout out to his wife, for encouraging him to write the book, then dedicates the whole thing to his father, who, he says, was a natural storyteller.
Really?
Yeah, it's like disarmingly personal. Did you get that vibe?
Absolutely. I mean, that dedication to his father especially, it highlights how important storytelling is to Oswatch. And that actually becomes a big part of the book's message overall. He doesn't just lecture you, with advice. It's all these stories, like he's just sharing his experiences.
You know what else struck me? Early on, chapter 1, intros, he admits some stuff might even make his wife uncomfortable reading it. Then he talks about this fear he had, like, are my experiences even profound enough to put in a book?
I can see why that would resonate. A lot of us wonder that, don't we?
Right. Like, who are we to think our lives are interesting enough to share?
It's refreshing though, isn't it? That honesty. Compared to those super polished self-help gurus, Oswatch is just so real.
And blunt. There's this one line. The ones who are going to benefit from this work, get this, are the ones who are going to benefit from this work.
He's not mincing words, that's for sure.
No. But it makes you think, right? Like, he's challenging this idea that we need to appeal to everyone.
Exactly. It's more about finding your people, the ones who connect with what you're saying, even if it's not some huge universal message.
And that's how he structures the book, too. He actually tells readers to jump around, find the chapters that speak to them right now. Don't feel bound by the order.
Oh, interesting. So it's very much a choose-your-own-adventure kind of guide.
Exactly. And I love this because it's so practical, right? People can find what's most useful for them at that moment.
And it plays into this whole idea of owning your own journey, which Oswatch seems really big on.
Totally. Oh, and speaking of owning it, there's another theme that pops up that at first I was taken aback by. He keeps saying, no one cares, really.
Oh, yeah. How did you interpret that?
Well, initially, I thought it sounded harsh, but then the more I thought about it, the more I realized how freeing it could be.
Right, like he's not saying it to be mean. He's saying people are so caught up in their own stuff, they don't have time to judge your journey.
It's like this radical self-acceptance. Don't let the fear of judgment hold you back.
Absolutely. Share your story authentically because it might resonate with someone who needs to hear it.
It's funny, right? This guy escaped an African ghetto. And his message is all about being comfortable with imperfection, sharing our truths. It's powerful.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, in a world that's so obsessed with, presenting this perfect image online and everywhere else, could this raw, unfiltered approach be the antidote, something we didn't know we needed?
It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
Me too.
So listeners, what do you think? Does Oswatch's approach resonate with you? Hit us up on social media. Let's keep this conversation going. And as always, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.